to my oldest son, to you I leave 80,000, but with it, it's also going to be this lingering spirit like you're never quite good enough. A doubt that's going to leave you stagnant, trapped between the fear of failure and the fear of success, leaving you in this constant cycle of analysis paralysis with all the major decisions of your life. To my second son, I leave you 60,000. But because I never dealt with my rejection and my abandonment, you're also going to inherit my spirit of disappointment. You're always going to live your life waiting for the other shoe to drop because you never believe that good things are going to happen. So you're not going to live life to its fullest potential, and you're going to shrink and hide the brilliant young man that you are. To my only daughter, I leave you 30,000. But you're going to get my silent anger and my repressed rage, and it's going to cripple the relationships that you desire to have, causing low self-worth and low self-esteem because I never taught you how to love yourself. And to my youngest son, I leave you also with 30,000. But you, son, you're going to get my people-pleasing tendencies. You're going to perform for love, acceptance, and validation. You'll likely exhaust all your efforts and energy only to look up one day and realize you've been everything to everyone and nothing to yourself. To all my children, you'll likely continue my habits of being a taskmaster and hyper-independent and procrastinator and a perfectionist. You see, I didn't even know I was dealing with any of these things, so I never knew to heal them. After all, I inherited these from my mom and she from hers. Anyway, I hope the money helps. Love, Mom. How would you feel if you were receiving that will? How would you feel if that was yours? You see, in 2016, this would have been the legacy that I would have been leaving my children when I had made a decision that I was going to die by suicide. This was the mental and emotional makeup of who I was as a wife, as a mother, and as a woman. We put so much energy into thinking that the financial legacy is the only thing that we are leaving when we do not realize that we are also passing down our habitual trauma responses and our coping mechanisms to our children. We spend so much time focused on wealth that we forget the other part of our legacy is health. Hard truth. More is caught than taught. There are 5 top core emotional wounds that we've all been impacted by at some point in our lifetime. Rejection, abandonment, shame, humiliation, and injustice. Travis Bradberry, who is the author of Emotional Intelligence 2.0, he says that only 36% of people will have the ability to become emotionally aware or operate in a level of emotional intelligence. 36% of people. Y'all, there's almost 8 billion people in the world. Can I make the math make sense? That's 5.1 billion people that will never develop the ability to become emotionally aware or operate in a level of emotional intelligence. What's the impact? That's 5.1 billion generations. That's also 5.1 billion legacies. You see, I had the opportunity of watching this play out right before my eyes. I was sitting in my car, and me and my mother were kikiing, and we were laughing it up. You know, it was late at night. We were there picking up my son. It was a dimly lit parking lot. The ground was just wet because it just kind of rained. And we in there just, girl, and kiki, and I can't. Did you hear about, you know how we get to the bantering and the family talks? Did you hear about cousin so-and-so? Did you hear what they said? Right? So we in there just kikiing it up. And as we're laughing and joking and going back and forth, all of a sudden, we feel this shift. What we didn't realize was that the guy that was coming into the spot next to us had hit the back of my car. Now, my car was 2 weeks off the lot, and y'all know how we get. You know what I'm saying? Don't touch my radio. You know what I'm saying? Put a towel down. Don't ask me to change nothing. It's brand new. Don't even really breathe hard when you get in my new car. You know how we get. And so before I could open my door, my mother, who is all of 5 feet tall, jumps, well, really, she slid out the back seat because you know the SUV. And she's running around to the back of the car. And now all of a sudden, this man is out of his car, and she's standing there, and I can't believe, and you did this, and I can't believe, oh my God. And then she slams her hand on the back of the car. Now, I done made it around to the back of the car, and in my good daddy voice, what in the cotton picking is just going on here? And I'm thinking, I'm the one that's supposed to be mad. You ever have somebody take your mad and they're mad, now they big mad? And you like, I'm the one that's supposed to be mad. Like, I can't even be mad no more. You done took all the mad. Now, meanwhile, the guy is standing there like, and she's going crazy, hands wailing in the air. But as I'm watching her, I flash back to a moment in 2016. I'm in Boston Logan Airport, and Who's Loving Hip Hop is coming off, and you better not, and I'm yelling and I'm screaming and I'm carrying on. The same son that watched me in the TSA is the same son that's watching his grandmother. You see, my grandmother, she would shut you down. She would stop talking to you. She would act like you've never existed at the moment you offended her. And the only way you knew it is because she acted like you never existed. You'd be talking to her and she would just. But my mom, she would tuck her anger deep down in her soul. And it would only come out when it couldn't handle it anymore. But me, I had the gift of both. I'd cuss you out and then shut it down. But it was when I saw it in my daughter. And I said, she will not inherit this. This will not be my legacy. Hard truth. Your character will always outlast your coins. You see, it's time that we stop leaving generational disease, dysfunction, and damage and shift to leaving a legacy of wealth, wisdom, and wellness. Generational health and generational wealth go hand in hand. You cannot have one without the other. Leaving your children with lump sums of money without the ability to critically discern what decisions they need to make regarding that money is a waste, it is damaging, and it is a huge disservice. You might as well give them the money now. So I challenge you to add clauses in your will around 4 certain areas. Now, I'm sure right now you're thinking, good God, like I didn't come, you know what I'm saying? I just came to support. Now all of a sudden I'm in my emotions. I'm feeling some things. And you're likely wondering, what does this look like for you? How is this playing out in my life? You may even say, I don't even have kids yet, so I don't even know if this applies. Ooh, I promise you it does. It doesn't have to be the generation that came from your bloodline that you impact. It can be someone else's. So let's walk through it. What does this look like? Imagine you cannot leave Anything financial to your children. I mean, you can't leave a house, you can't leave a car, there's no assets. You can't even list them on your, as a beneficiary, on your retirement, your pension, your trust. I mean, if they're gonna get any type of financial gain, you cannot give it to them. Remove it all. You're now left with 4 things: your mental stability, your emotional capacity, your spiritual foundation, and your physical health. So let's walk through it. Where are you mentally? Are you grieved? Are you distant? Are you overwhelmed? Do you feel anxious? Do you have a sense of peace? Where are you emotionally? Are you angry? Are you bitter? Are you resentful? Do you feel joy or do you feel happiness? What about your spiritual foundation? What do you believe? What are you rooted in? What do you go to be renewed, restored? What are your core values, your principles? Can you write them down and hand them to somebody and they can read it? What about your physical health? Where you are in your health? Do people in your life know what you're actually dealing with? Or do we do our stereotypical thing? Well, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to make somebody feel bad about where I'm at. And so you try to protect them. Only for you to die and they realize you had cancer for the last 7 years. It's time that we start letting the generations that come after us know that their mental health matters. Their emotional health matters. Your spiritual foundation matters. And your physical health, y'all got it. Y'all said it before I said it. It matters. So I challenge you to write a new will. I challenge you to add these clauses into your will. You heard what I would have left in 2016. Let's rewrite it. Right here, right now, today. To my children, who I love dearly, I leave you health and wealth. But before you receive your inheritance, there's going to be things that you need to know and do. Please know that I leave you not with the spirit of fear, but one of love, power, and a sound mind. Know that you have watched firsthand me overcome struggles, learn how to trust God, leverage the power of relationships, and the importance of maintaining your physical health. You've watched me struggle, but never quit. You've watched me learn how to rest and how to set healthy boundaries and honor myself. You've watched me launch successful businesses and work a 9-to-5. But also know this, that where there is a lack of counsel, plans will fail. But with many, plans will succeed. So before you can even touch your monetary inheritance, you will need to have the following 7 people in place: a life coach, a health and wellness coach, a licensed therapist, a medical team, a financial advisor, legal counsel, I'm talking to them. They're right there. I love y'all. There's one more, and I'll make sure I include it. Amen, somebody? Amen, somebody. All right. And you have to have worked with them for a minimum of 2 years before you ever touch anything monetary. You may struggle with resentment and that's okay. Learn to accept, forgive, and grieve. You may struggle with trust, and that's okay, but learn to trust the one who will never let you down. You may struggle in your faith walk, and that's okay, but learn to lean on the firm foundation that I have laid before you. With all that I've left, go out, be fruitful, and multiply. I prayed for this. I healed for this. Lots of love. Mom. Hard truth. What you don't repair, you will repeat and pass down. Hard truth. Generational health is generational wealth. Thank you.